Welcome to the Eclectic Thrifter and Crafter, where we thrift and craft with purpose. It's Tea Tuesday. Or in my world, Crafty Tuesday. All right, let's see what mischief we've gotten up to this week. Oh, we have a package. Let's take a look and see what's inside. It was packed very well. I was really delighted to find it. I watched it for a few weeks and decided, okay, well, it is a new month and I'm getting my tools, so I'm going to go ahead and purchase it. I paid $13 for it. It is made in Occupy Japan, and it brings my teapot collection to an official close. I held my breath here as I inserted it in the cupboard because I guesstimated the thickness of the underplate, but it's just perfect. It matches the set, so now the little set's complete. Very nice. All right, so the last few packages of tools are trailing in the mail. These are 2 sets of clay tools. They have different ends on them and different sizes, so they may look the same, but they're not. They were about $7 a piece for each set. I have one more set coming, which is a very fine wire set that I'm going to be using to turn and to carve away at the jewelry wax. I will be able to use these tools with clay as well as with paper mache. A couple of years ago, when I decided to do miniatures, I made the little Staffordshire dogs and the molds for them. Then, all of a sudden, things were closed. And then after things reopened, the lady who would be doing all the firing went out of business. So now I have to think of something else, another way to fire my own things. A tabletop kiln is about $700. Last week I shared that this week I was going to be making the stair runner for the kitchen stairs. I made a small rag rug. I did not like how it turned out this way, and I think I can solve what I don't like about it by heavily starching the fabric. But when you cut the fabric into less than 1/4 inch strips, it starts to unravel and you get the little fibers sticking out. So I think if I do heavily starch it, I'll be able to make a nice rag rug. But this time around I just used the yarn. So this is what we're going to take a look at now. For the warp threads, I'm just using threads that I have on hand. There's partial skein of this boucle yarn, a very fine boucle yarn. So I'm going to use those for the warp, and I'm going to need it to be just over 2 inches wide, and I'm going to need the stair runner to at least be 14 inches, and I'm going to leave a little extra because there's another stair that I need to run up a small section that gives you the illusion that the kitchen goes up into another area of the house. So this is how it works, and I've cut the warp threads to about 48 inches because I can get another section of rug from these fibers. It does take a little bit of time. Just make sure you don't pull the weft threads too tight because then you'll get it. It'll begin to kind of pull inward if you pull it too tight. This is a fun little project for a young person. They can make their own belt or a strap to a purse. This is another way of using your bead loom. So you can see that I'm right on target with the width. Well, the little rag rug I made, I'll probably put that in front of the kitchen sink. I'll give it a whirl again and starch the fabrics and see if I can get rid of those little telltale fibers on the little rag rugs. I'm just going to tie it off, nothing terribly professional because it's going to be glued down. The joy about doing miniatures is there's a sense of satisfaction when you do your own little details. They may not be fancy, but they sure bring a lot of joy. All right, so we're now down in the garage. I have the kitchen and the library. I'm getting ready to start dividing up the house into modules that will fit together like a puzzle. So the kitchen is down here. I just cut the floor sections in half and we'll be getting ready to glue those down. In the meantime, we're going to get this stairway runner installed, and then I'm going to start working on the stove this week. I already have the base and the second layer on the base cut so I can get those glued together and get that base shaped before I put the body of the stove on. I need to have my son sharpen my scissors. They are not in the best shape. We have that one little stair to nowhere that goes up to the right, and we'll get that measured and cut and get that little section installed. And that's all glued down. I did use hot glue, and I am going to use hot glue on these stairs because I'm just going to keep this runner. I'm not going to change it out. I'm going to put a little double-sided tape, and I'll use that to hold the edge a little firmer. And I went and got my kitchen scissors since those have a little better edge on them, and that should do it. I think that's going to be fine. We're going to give it a little bit of a trim, and then we're good. Put that glue in there. As I finish each room, I'm going to be putting little baseboards in there and chair rails and so on. I'm going to try and make my own trim. I've already found a way to cut it very thin, so there'll be a little baseboard up at the top of the stairs to cover that edge, as well as at the bottom of the stairs. Well, thank you so much for joining me today. Please like and subscribe, and tapping that like button helps the algorithm share my channel. Please share my Thrifting and Crafting channel with your thrifting and crafting friends. I welcome your thoughts and ideas and comments below. Check us out on Instagram and tap that notification button for upcoming announcements of thrifts and crafts. But most of all, have a lovely, lovely day.